Welcome to my weekly video diary. This is the second edition for this month of November 2025. Today, I'm going to start with a question. Have you ever felt left behind in life? That like other people, your friends, your mates, classmates, age mates, and your contemporaries have left you behind. That is when you look at them, it appears as if they have everything going for them. Perfect career, their dream families, financial freedom, and everything is right place. Why for you? It appears you are still struggling to make ends meet. Especially in these days of social media, when people are fond of flaunting their perceived success before other people. So when you see as if other people have arrived and you are still struggling, so sometimes it can make you feel really bad. It can engender anxiety and even depression. So today there is a truth which I want to bring to our notice, which it appears people are not aware of or they have forgotten. And that truth is that life is in stages and men are in sizes. Yes, life is in stages and men are in sizes. What that means is that there's a process. There's a process. Success occurs in phases. It takes time for a seed to become a tree. Even a tree, before it begins to bear fruit, there are processes. And it must take its normal and natural course. So today I want to look into that subject, that topic, that phrase, or that proverb. Life is in stages and men are in sizes. By the way, I have to give credit to Bishop David Oyedepo. It is from him that I first heard that expression for the first time some years ago. And when I heard it, it actually resonated with me. It struck a chord in my heart. Then last week, I was reading a book written by the wife, Faith Oyedepo, which she titled Making Marriage Work. So in that book, she used that expression again. And I decided to really think about it and talk about it. So today, I'm going to talk about it. Life is in stages and men are in sizes. So let's dive in to look at the meaning. What exactly does it mean that life is in stages and men are in sizes? Well, let's look at the literal meaning in the first place. Literally, what does it mean? Life is in stages. It was William Shakespeare that actually captured it in one of his books, As You Like It. One of the characters made that famous statement that all the world is a stage and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. So he depicted the world as a big stage, and every human being is an actor, and each person plays different parts, different stages. And he went ahead to identify and explain, identified and explained the 7 stages. He called it 7 ages. So we can say 7 stages of human beings. Number 1, we have the infant, helpless, crying, and poking in the nurse's arms. Then you have the schoolboy crushing his sachet, whining and reluctant to go to school. Then number three, you have the lover. That is the adolescent, sighing and composing love songs, showing deep emotional side. Then number four, you have the soldier. That's the young adult, full of odd oaths and seeking honor and fame with a focus on bravery. Then number five, you have the justice. That is the elder, the more mature adult. Yes, in his mature years, with a round belly and a formal beard, speaking wise sayings. Then number six, you have the old man, the pantaloon stage, characterized by a lean and slippered appearance with spectacles and a thin and reedy voice. Then finally, you have the senescence, age of senility, or what we call the second childhood. You can even say the second infancy. That's the final stage of helplessness and dependency again. We call it mere oblivion. No teeth, no taste, no eyes, and other senses. That's the age of decline. So mind you, these stages are determined by the aging process and they proceed automatically. You cannot initiate any stage and you cannot halt any stage and you cannot force any stage and you cannot hurry any stage. It proceeds in its own time. That is the stages of life. Then we come to the other aspects of the saying, men are in sizes. Literally also, we see that human beings vary in stature, in capabilities, and in abilities. Even judging from the size of clothes or shoes that we wear, you see that there is a small size, there is a medium size, there is a large size, there is extra large size, there's extra large size, there's even extra large size, because men are in sizes. Some people are short statured, some people are tall statured, some people are average build, some people are muscular, bulky. Men are in sizes. And also these sizes are genetically determined. Your height and even maybe your bulk is determined by genetics. Nothing you can do about it. You can't increase your height. You can't shorten your height. It is determined. Where through exercise and bodybuilding, you can increase your bulk to some extent. So that is the literal meaning. Men are in sizes. Life is in stages. But of course, you know, I am not focusing on the literal meaning for this discussion. No. I want to look at the symbolic or the figurative meaning of that statement and how we can apply it in our business of living. What does it mean then, figuratively or symbolically, when that statement is made by Bishop Oyedepo? What does it mean? Well, it means that life unfolds in phases and every person grows at their own pace. That's just the summary. People grow at their own pace. People grow at their own pace. And people go through different phases. And the phases and stages of life are unique to individuals. Okay? They are unique to each individual. We don't all grow at the same rate or at the same pace. It's not a uniform thing. All right? We all travel our appointed path, according to A.W. Tozer. He said we all travel an appointed path. In the journey of life, each person has his own path or trajectory which he follows. And it may be different from another person. Yes, we are all writing the same exams. We are not writing the same. The questions are not the same. That is it. Yes, in the exam hall of life, each individual have a different question paper. That's another way to put it. So the phases and stages are not necessarily determined by age. Okay? No, not at all. It's not chronological. Yes, it is time dependent, but not necessarily age dependent, which means that people of the same age may not be at the same phase. That's the truth. People of the same age may not be at the same phase because each person has his own appointed path to follow. So I'm going to identify some of the stages of life, okay, in the metaphorical sense, in the symbolic sense of the expression. I'm going to identify some of the stages where different people have different ways to enunciate it, to explain it, but I'm going to use the one that I favored. Number one is the foundation stage, which is also the formation and identity discovery phase. So that is the period when the person is trying to identify himself. The person is trying to know who he is. Identity question. All right? That phase is characterized by heavy dependence. In the formation stage or foundation stage, there is dependency. You depend on people. You depend on parents. You depend on teachers. You depend on mentors. People determine, make choices for you. People determine the direction you go, the choices you make. And during that period, you absorb habits from what you see, from what you witness, from what you are told. You absorb. You're like a sponge soaking the things around you. Even your worldview, even your mindset is influenced by your immediate neighborhood. That is the formation stage. And at that period, you make mistakes. Mistakes are frequent. But those mistakes are necessary for you to answer the question of your identity. Okay? They are part of your learning who you are. Then we come to the second stage, which is the age of formation stage. That is the age of learning, the age of discipline, and the age of discovery of purpose. In the foundation stage, you are discovering your identity. While in the formation stage, you are discovering your purpose. You begin to ask, why am I here? What am I supposed to accomplish? Some of the features or characteristics of that age is when you are exposed to education, formal education. When you come under tutelage, under mentorship, and you take early responsibilities, things are committed into your hand. And that is the period you struggle with self-control and discipline, self-discipline, and also independence. Yes. You start divorcing yourself from dependence on other people. Before now, people make choices for you, but at this time, you try to make your own choices. Okay? And the choices you make will shape your entire life and trajectory. The choices you make at that point, choice of career, choice of where you will live, choice of life partner, you make those choices at that point. And those choices will determine your trajectory, the way you are going to travel along the journey of life. Then the third stage is the transition stage. That is the stage where you come to crossroads, an identity crisis. Yeah, it happens. You have gone through that in the formation stage, identity question, and you felt you have known who you are and what you are up to, what you are supposed to do. A time will come when you begin to question, do I really know who I am? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? That is the point when you have multiple roles in life. By then you are maybe married, you are a parent, you are a husband, you are a wife, you are working somewhere, you are a colleague, you are a workmate, you have responsibilities here, you have multiple responsibilities, multiple roles in life. And you start experiencing seasons of uncertainty and change. Some people call it the midlife crisis. That's when you experience the midlife crisis. When you start having deep evaluation, self-evaluation, yes, you start wondering, am I really living out my purpose? That's a stage, and it's a very important stage. Then you now come to stage 4, which is the fruition stage. That's the age of bearing fruit, age of productivity, age of leadership, and legacy building. Yes, that is when you now have a clear sense of purpose and calling. It's expected that by that time, the identity crisis has been resolved, and you have decided who you are and what you are supposed to be doing, the direction you are supposed to be going. You have known your calling and your assignment. You have started mentoring others. For some people call it the age of second seed sowing. In the formation stage, you are sowing seed. All right? That seed of your career, family, and other things. At this stage, you are now sowing seed of human beings. You are investing on people. It's also age of stability. At this point, you ought to have stabilized, both spiritually and emotionally and even financially. You should have achieved financial stability. And at that point, you have begun to enjoy the fruit of your labors, of your investments, okay, the fruit of the past. It's like a harvest period for you. You have started reaping the fruit of your youthful years. Yes, that is the fruition stage, productive stage. Then the 5th stage, which is the final stage, is the legacy stage. That is the stage of reflections and mentoring and building of legacy. All right? At that point, you are transferring wisdom and experience and blessing to the next generation. That one is you're no longer building for yourself. You are investing in other people. And also you begin to focus on spiritual things. Yes, you become more spiritual and more reflective. It's also the period of deep gratitude and peace and a sense of fulfillment. That's when you begin to appreciate what you have become, who you are. You begin to appreciate. Or a period of regret. For some people, when they do that reflection, it's regret. Because they start seeing missed opportunities, what they could have become that they didn't become. The mistakes of the past will become glaring, and regret may come in. So as people approach the end, that's when regrets come up. Because that's when they do reflection, when they take stock of their lives. They discover that they have made a mistake somewhere, they have missed opportunities somewhere, they have made wrong choices somewhere, and they start feeling the impact of those wrong choices. So these are different stages that we pass through. Mind you, these stages are not chronological. No, they are not. And they are not linear. They're not in a straight line. In fact, sometimes they go in circles. And they are not age dependent. Okay? Yes, they are time dependent, but they are not age dependent. In other words, people of the same age may not be at the same stage. It doesn't follow like that at all. So it depends on a number of factors. Yes. Because everybody's journey is unique to him. Some people are early bloomers and they move fast. While some people are late developers. They trudge slowly and steady, but they will get there. So that is why there is no need for comparison with anybody. So we are coming back to where we started. There's no need for comparison with anybody. So when you are writing your exam, don't peep into another person's script. Don't copy from that person. You're not writing the same question. So no need for comparison, no need for competition. Okay? Because if you are comparing your life with somebody else, it may be that you are comparing your chapter 2 with somebody's chapter 10. Even though you are age mates, even though you are classmates in the classroom, but in life, you are not classmates. You are different chapters of your life. So you may be making a wrong comparison. You don't compete. You don't compete at all. They say there's no competition in destiny. You only compete with yourself. You don't compete with another person. Be your own competition. That's the right approach to life. Be your own competition. And you have to be patient with the process. You have to be patient. You have to wait until you read the last line in the page before you turn the page. But the page will definitely turn. The tide will turn. Things will change. And you move to the next chapter. So you have to be patient. Don't hurry it. Embrace it. And wait it through. Be patient. Now, we talk about size. The size refers to maturity. Your size in life refers to your capacity and your maturity, your strengths and your potentials. That is what your size means. And it has to do with your assignment, your mission, your purpose. And they are uniquely yours. So that somebody's size has to agree or conform to the mission or assignment he has. So the two of you may not be the same size. And you don't need to envy him or feel bad because you're not on the same size. You don't have the same calling. You don't have the same assignment. No, not at all. Your size is uniquely tailored to your purpose and assignment. Of course, we may all aspire to be better than we were yesterday. To do better, to achieve more, to go higher, to make more progress. That is in order. But we should not strive to beat somebody else, to strive with somebody else, to compete in life. You don't strive to compete with somebody. Instead, be your own competition. Let your today be better than your yesterday. That should be your focus. So, what are the practical tips that I can give, or lessons, or take away from this discussion? Number one is self-awareness. You have to know who you are and where you are. You have to know the stage you are right now. Okay? You have to know the stage you are right now. Are you at the formation stage? Are you at the foundation stage? Are you at the transition stage? Are you at the fusion stage? Or are you at the legacy stage? And when you know your stage, embrace it. Don't resist. Don't reject. Don't fight. But embrace, appreciate, and make peace with that stage. That is your stage. That's number one. Then number two, you have to equip yourselves to get the best out of the stage. At any stage you are, make sure you get the best out of it. Get as much knowledge as you can. Get as much skills as you can. And be at your best in that stage. Then number three, you have to be patient with the process. Be patient. Let each stage take its course and produce its fruit. Produce its fruit. So allow the stage to work its work in you, to affect you and impact you and bring something out of you. That's it. Then number four, you have to keep your eyes on your purpose and your mission. Know the direction you are going and focus on that direction. Don't be distracted by what is happening, what others are doing, how others are running, what others are becoming. It has nothing to do with you. You have your trajectory, follow it, and keep your eyes on that purpose, on that objective, on that final outcome. So, note that your size will grow as your capacity increases. So it's possible for you to expand, just as human beings can by training and exercise and bodybuilding, they increase their size. Somebody that used to be skinny can become muscular by training, by exercise. Likewise, in life, you can increase your capacity, you can grow, you can add knowledge, you can add more skills. And the more skills you add, the more knowledge you add, the more you develop yourself, the more useful, the more your size, the more you grow. So aim at that. Increase your capacity. Be the better version of yourself. And if you manage each stage successfully, you will transition into the next stage. So a lot depends on you. What you do at this particular stage will determine when you'll be promoted and to what level you will be promoted. So a lot actually depends on you. So keep on growing, keep on increasing, keep on developing, and keep on investing in yourself. You will get there, but you need a little more patience. So thank you very much for listening to me. Remember, life is in stages, and men are in sizes.